Are you ready? Good afternoon, happy cooking, good evening, and for those of you who are in a different part of the world, good morning as well. So today I have an awesome recipe for you, and it's absolutely vegan and absolutely delicious. So the first one that I'm going to do is the brown rice. How about the people who don't want to eat white rice, but they want to have the brown rice? So it's very simple. Wash your rice, and remember that rice takes a little bit, especially brown rice, will take a little bit less water than you would normally put. A lot of times in the olden days when you had ordinary pots and pans that didn't have the even heat distribution from tip to tip like Salamaster does, you had to use more water because there was no seal. And so if there was no seal, then all that water that you put supposedly into the cookware was to surround the rice so it would create the even heat. And in fact, you didn't know it didn't have a temperature control. So how did you know when to turn it down to low? Usually when the lid was going like this. But by then, if it takes 185 degrees Fahrenheit to click this, so imagine when it goes like this on the lid, that's more than 185 degrees Fahrenheit. So when you're cooking at 185 degrees, you're cooking below boiling point, because every time that you boil your foods, you're sterilizing your food. Hence, how do we sterilize our baby's bottle? By boiling the bottle, right? So the same thing when you're boiling your food or you're steaming, because boiling starts at 212 and steaming at 222, 224 degrees. So what happened is, with this, we never have to cook above boiling point. It's always turn the medium, put the water in there. When the valve clicks, turn it down to low. Now remember, with white rice, it's already been bleached. But brown rice, it still has the husk. That's why brown rice will deteriorate a lot faster than white rice will do. White rice, you'll still see the little bugs and all that, but this time when you have brown rice, it'll start get a little bit sticky if you leave it for too long, and it'll also start smelling kind of like rancid. So if it's just starting to get rancid, a little bit sticky, you can still wash it without breaking it. But remember that the brown rice, the reason why is way better for you is because it has all the integral part, the integrity of the rice. So it has all the vitamins, the minerals that are actually supposed to be in your body. So in this cookware, the Salamaster cookware, you don't have to use a lot of water when you do brown rice. If you do use a lot of water, it's gonna take forever to cook. So what you need to do is check out where the top of the rice is, right? So that's the top of the rice. So what you want to do is put only half an inch. So if you look at your finger, right, there's an inch, there's a little bit less, but I usually like to use the middle finger. So whatever I'm not giving you the middle finger. So whatever your first line of the middle finger is, go only halfway. So if you're doing white rice like basmati rice and jasmine rice, you can put the whole 1 inch above the rice level. Not where you touch the middle, but the very top, above the rice level. But for brown rice, it's half of that. Because remember that when I put the water and I put the lid on and I turn it to medium, the vapor valve will click at 185 degrees approximately. As soon as I turn down to low, the heat, the air on the inside will shrink. And it will create this vacuum system. So that's why I showed you the other day, even if I just put a little bit of water here, you can feel the resistance. So now when you add heat, right? Because heat is what cooks our food, not water. So there's no need to use water when you have an even heat distribution. That's why you can bake cakes on the top of the stove in this pan and not somewhere else. So just for those of you who have joined me just recently, Salamaster's been around since 1947. The machine that I showed you yesterday has been around since 1946. So that's what what got the company started. And it's made in the USA, in Wisconsin, in the state of Wisconsin. So only about half an inch above. And I usually like to put a little bit of warm water so it starts the coction right away. So I don't like to, of course, I'm not going to put my finger in there because it's hot water, but I can gauge it and I can see what half an inch look like. And if it's a little bit hard after I cooked it for 15 minutes, I'll just add a little bit of hot water and continue to cook. So now I'm going to turn that one to medium. That's gonna be your first dish, and I'm gonna show you everything afterwards. And if you want, you can do white rice, but the whole idea is I'm showing you how to build your immune system by eating better foods and by living better and by thinking better. Because truly, most of the ailments that people have is because their mind is already too much negative thinking. And so we need to focus on positivity today. So the next dish that I'm going to show you how to make is my favorite of all favorites. Okay, there is one favorited more, which is the Scotch bonnet, but I cannot get Scotch bonnet peppers here. And so jealous for the people that live in Jamaica and the islands too, that they can get the beautiful Scotch bonnet. But the closest thing to Scotch bonnet is habanero. Oh my gosh, do I love habanero. Habanero, seriously, it's number one on my list. I absolutely adore it. I love it. So what you do is, I already taken all the habanero. So this is for an habanero paste that you use it on everything, on chicken. If you have a headache, just put a little bit under your tongue and you'll see how all of a sudden you wake up. It's like a wake-up call. So when you touch the habaneros, do not touch your eyes. If you want it really spicy, leave the seeds, because if you throw away the seeds, then it doesn't really give you that delicious, amazing spice. So wear gloves. Worst case scenario, wear gloves. Just because I know eventually I will touch my face. Eventually I'll probably go like this in my eyes. And then eventually I'll be going like this. I can't see anything. I got habanero in my eyes. Okay? So best to prevent rather than cry. Okay? So just take the little end. And I'm just going to cut them in half. And I have already this. Okay? And then one in there. Oh, see, if I see that the seeds are a little bit old, I'll just take the seed out. You know, if I see them that they're starting to dry inside. So I'll just take the very best part, but the really, really good ones, you know, make sure that you keep them because I want the seeds. So that's why you inspect all the peppers. So see this one, I got good seeds in there. You know, this one's no good. And I bought these a while ago and I just planted some today. Just because I want to make sure that I have them. Okay, I'm supposed to be in another conference call soon, but I'm still going to cook this for you because I want to show you how to do it. So they'll just have to wait for me when I get there. Okay, so if you see any blemishes, don't put it in. It's better to just, you know, put what you have that is good. But don't waste it because, you know, it's going to be delicious and beautiful. Okay? So these are perfect. So I'm done with that. So now what we'll do is we're gonna take, put that for now. And we're gonna take the garlic. I have a lot of garlic here. So you see there's about half on the pan of habanero. So that's about 10 habaneros. And this is more than 10. I told people make it with 10 garlic cloves. But because garlic cloves are the best for building your immune system, I'm putting here about a cup of garlic cloves, probably a little bit closer of a 1.5 cup. Okay, so just throw it in there. And then, so it emulsifies, you're gonna need some sort of oil. Oh, my oil is, see if I can spot my oil. See, it wasn't even on the view, but I did spot it. So how much oil you're gonna put? Put about 1/2 cup of oil because you're gonna keep this for a long time. It stays in the fridge for at least 6 months, at least, if not more. Okay, so the preservative is going to be apple cider vinegar. So you can use white vinegar, which is not really good for you. But the apple cider vinegar is really good for you. It's very cleansing. So turn that to medium. And then just let it roast. And I'm going to add a little bit of sea salt. Okay, about a teaspoon of sea salt. That's also another preservative. And what you want to do is cook without the handles first. And then just go like this, sort of start roasting. Okay. The next thing that I'm gonna do in my curry that I'm making, I have these California chilies. The reason why I wanna use them is because they're gonna give the curry a very, very rich color. So I'm gonna take the garlic. So I'm moving into the curry, just so you know. So I'm gonna take about 12 garlic cloves, the chili in there. And now I'm going to add a little bit of, you can even tear these because we're gonna be blending it anyways. And take a little bit of the oil. And you can use coconut oil in this or not, but I'll use it on the other thing. I'll use it on the curry. So this is for the paste for the curry. This is for me to keep and add maybe just a tablespoon or so of the habanero sauce so I can make my curry really nice, hot, and spicy. So let's cook that one up. That was going to be blended. This one also will be blended, but this is for storing and using it. I promised a friend that I will show her how to make my habanero paste. Now, for the tofu. It's probably easier if I get one of these. I mean, I crowded here with too many things. But let's, number one, we are going to create a bit of chaos here. Number one, I'm going to prepare the tofu. I already washed the tofu on the outside, so always wash everything. And I don't mind using this where I first, so put the water, so just do a slip. That's why the reason why you need to wash your containers is because when the knife cuts through, you're cutting through something that other people have touched 10,000 times. So always wash it on the outside. So this is a firm tofu, okay? And we're gonna do 2 of them. And so I can hear now. Okay, take that water out. It'll make it easier if you just take the whole thing, the plastic. There you go, so it's better. Okay, so now the next thing, dump this off. And then just go like this and lower it, because now I can tell you this is already roasting really beautiful. So lower it. Once I put it to high, then I turn it to medium or medium low, so it will actually roast perfectly. So now with your tofu, so you can do big chunks, little chunks, whatever you want. That's just up to you. So I'm gonna cut 1, 2, 3, 5, the perfect 10. Okay, and then we'll do one more time. You can see it this way. You know, we're gonna do a bit of chunks. And that's just preparing because I'm going to flavor this. Okay, if you don't flavor it, it's going to be bland. Okay, so put the tofu in here. I don't need this yet. And so how do we flavor this? Turn this to low. My rice, I gotta turn it to low as well. All right, so in the flavor here, we're gonna add some cumin. Actually, let me add some coconut sugar, about 2 tablespoons, because I'm going to do a little bit of a fry first before I do the soup. So about 2 tablespoons coconut sugar. Do some, we have in here coriander. I need a spoon here. I love coriander, so coriander is like, you know, the seed from the cilantro. Very good for cleansing your liver. Okay, now we are going to add some curry powder. So let's do approximately about a tablespoon of the curry powder. So these are my measurements. And we're going to do some powdered ginger or ginger powder. Same thing, I'm gonna do a teaspoon, see, in there. So it'll be really beautiful and flavorful. Okay, we have in here some nutmeg. So for the nutmeg, I'm gonna grate it fresh. So that I just did about a little bit, maybe about a quarter of a nutmeg less. Delicious. And then of course, we're gonna add some sea salt and turmeric, which is very important. I forgot to open this one. Turmeric, a teaspoon as well. This is helpful for reducing inflammation in the body. I was listening today at the briefing from the state of Florida, and these people were actually recommending to build your immune system like more than anything else, it gave me great hope that some people really have the common sense to talk about so much about building our immune system. Very, very important. Okay, so let's do some black pepper. And these are all stuff that will help you build the immune system, that help you stay healthy. I had bought a Malaysian curry, but when I read it that it had red dye number 4 and 5, and it had MSG, I said, I'm not putting that in my body, so I put it aside. So I'm like, no, I'm not gonna use it. Okay. So now, take some coconut cream, and we need the scissors. Just gonna wash them. So I got some coconut cream in here. And so I'm just gonna emulsify this with the cream. And I have some lemon. This is the zest of a lemon and lime. I dried it, I used it yesterday, and I dried it to use it today. Okay, so now just take your gloves and gently make this mixture. Okay? I mean, that looks already good enough to eat, delicious. Okay, I'm going to add some hot sauce in there. First I'll add, I'm gonna add a little bit of this oil. So it'll be nice and spicy. Woo, fire. Call the fire department. Okay, so I put some of that habanero oil because I had put a little bit too much in there. So just set it aside. Okay. Now, we're gonna take some herbs. Okay. I'm gonna take some, this is mint. We're gonna crush this mint. In one moment. Oh boy, I lost the other parts. Okay, so put the mint in a pestle. And meanwhile, So break the mint. Then take one of the peppers that we're cooking here with the garlic. Almost done, not yet. Instead then what I'll do is I'll get the lemongrass. So this I grow lemongrass, super easy to grow in your home. And so take a chunk. And so you take this part, this is what's worthwhile, okay? And cut it into a couple of little rounds. Okay, and so now we are going to crush this. This will give a good flavor. Then we throw in the ginger. Okay, and it's okay to just crush it there. So what we're bringing is we're bringing the flavors out of all this deliciousness. Absolutely beautiful. Put a little bit more, so about a quarter of a ginger. That's perfect. So now let me grab one of those chilies that are probably already soft. And actually I grab the garlic that is roasted. It smells incredible. Perfect. So take all this out now that it's crushed. And I know you're thinking, you know, I'm going to put it in the blender anyways. So why do I crush it? Because there's something in there that makes the flavor absolutely amazing. Okay, turn these both off. So take the chilies, put them in the blender. Whoops. Okay, move that out of the way. Take the this concoction here. And now you take some of the coconut cream. You can do the rest of that half. Let's move this out of the way. For now, so take your 7 quart, which is right here. See, 7 quart. And then we're gonna add the other coconut milk. But first, we're going to blend this. So let me disappear for a second to blend. Incredible, looks beautiful. And now take the other coconut cream. I had forgotten to wash these because I just pulled them out. Add it in there. Put the new flavoring. And now I'm going to add a little bit of water. Or water if you can. And also what we'll do is bring this to medium. Medium high is okay. Because anyway, when the valve clicks, I'm going to turn it down to low anyhow. There you go, it's on. So now, let me show you some of the stuff that we're going to put in here. I can move everything out of the way, that's the problem. Sometimes I want to have too much in my stage here. I need a helper moving everything as I'm done. Okay, let me throw some frozen pineapple. to sweeten it up. And of course, bring it to a boil. Cover it for now. And then what we'll do is we're going to, this is almost done, I'm going to get a large skillet, like a 12-inch gourmet skillet. And then I'm going to turn it to medium, and I'm going to brown the tofu for a moment. In the meantime, I'll clean this up, and then I'll show you what vegetables to put. All right, so let's clean up a bit. I'm telling you, my food tastes good, but I do need somebody to assist. But it's all right. I'm doing this for the people that want to learn my recipes and can put up with my patience. Okay. So we're good to go. Clean again. Get your cutting board. Get an onion. And so today I'm not using the machine, I'm just using the knife because I want onion chunks. So I want the onion to be really big pieces. So cut the onion in 3, and then in 3 again, add the raw onion just like that. Okay. By the way, I read like some kind of old wives' tale, I'm sure they say, but I read when you're really sick, put some half an onion in your room to absorb viruses. And you know what I did? I cut some onion yesterday, and I grated the onion when I was doing the whole show with the salad master machine, and I just left the onion here, and truly, you know, the kitchen feels a lot cleaner. So, okay, so just continue to that. This is just heating up right now. While it's heating up, you can get all your vegetables ready. You can use the machine using the number 3 cone if you don't feel like chopping. But if you don't mind, you know, and you want like big chunks, julienne cut, that maybe the machine doesn't do it, which what I'm gonna do is this. I mean, I'm gonna do a bit of julienne here. And because I like those big chunks. And it's a really beautiful color. So you got the red carrot with the yellow. And then you also have the, you know, the orange regular carrots. And I have a white kind of carrot, it seems. So do those big chunks there, it's okay. And then if you have, I'm just putting whatever I have at home. Remember, I'm not going shopping. I haven't gone out for days, weeks. So I'm just here with whatever is at home I'm using. So improvise. Whatever you have at home, that's what you put in your curry. This is my own style of curry. This is nobody's curry. This is not Chinese. This is not Indian. This is not Malaysian. This is not nothing. It's my creation of what I want and what I have. So I don't want to break my head thinking about, oh, I need to have this or that. By the way, this is incredible. I'm gonna put like 4 whole, I like combinations of 5 or 7. So 7 whole star anise to start giving it flavor. And this should be ready, and I'm gonna start frying it. But before I do that, I'm gonna lower it for a bit. I wanna put my butternut squash. You can use yams if you have yams. Any vegetable will work, because the whole idea is the best way to build our immune system is through a plant-based diet. Truly, plant-based is the way to go. I mean, I don't practice it all the time, but in my home, I only eat beef when I invite people. I only eat chicken when I do presentations like this. Other than that, I don't, because I don't want to throw away the food. Otherwise, we eat very vegetarian here. And I'm always making up stuff, you know, even hamburgers, you know, made out of grains and seeds and nuts. And then the last one I want to show you, my potatoes. My potatoes from this morning. Remember when I took you to my yard and I show you all these awesome potatoes that I planted from all my potatoes that had little eyes? So well, here they are. They paid off. My hard work and even my disagreement with my husband that he didn't want me to plant them. You know what? Tell me that I cannot do something and watch me go do it, okay? That's my plan. That's my program. You know, nobody should be afraid of anything. All of us should have the ability to create something, you know, and to be something. So let's go with the beautiful brand new potatoes from this morning's. I say from this morning, no it was me. From this morning harvesting. And they barely even have the skin because they're brand new. I just harvested them this morning. I did a video showing everybody, like even just by leaving the potato out there. Oh, I think I didn't put the water yet. It's just feeling a little thick. So these potatoes will cook with this flavor. And I'm almost done. Keep it close. So one more potatoes. I also harvested some red potatoes because I threw red potatoes. And the color is completely different. It's absolutely lovely. And it just cuts like butter. Look at the difference. Look at the colors. You know, and barely any skin because they're, like I said, brand new potatoes. So while that's cooking, it's nice and thick. We're also going to give it some tomato paste so it's red. This one was already ready to go here. Okay. The other thing you can do, I have some frozen mushrooms. These are shiitake mushrooms, which is great for the gut health. You know, a lot of people talk about gut health being the other immune system. So, you know, if you have access, I like to freeze them when I buy a whole bunch. Wash them and freeze them, and then they're easy to cut. Okay, so I'm cutting them frozen right now. And just add them to your beautiful curry. And the last thing, I'm gonna add this gorgeous bell peppers. But in the meantime, let me stir some of those, the curry, and we can add a little bit of oil actually. Coconut oil will work. I think there's something down there that is slippery. Like I said, I didn't realize I had to be in another call, so I'm kind of rushing the program. So take a tablespoon. You know, it looks big, but it's a tablespoon. And so now that the pan is preheated, just smear it all over the pan, in the bottom. And then throw the tofu there. And that's only if you want to brown it, otherwise just throw it like that. You know, I put the coconut oil and the coconut butter, and the coconut cream to emulsify it and to flavor the tofu, otherwise it doesn't, you know, it tastes really bland. You can do this if you like with chicken or beef, lamb. You know, the truth is, do it with everything. So that's that. Turn it to medium-high or fry. And let me tell you, this weather here is getting really hot. And I have one more thing to add to this, and that is a tomato paste I brought here. Oh, I got more of these guys here. Oh, there's my tomato paste. I have more little mushrooms here. I don't want to leave them behind because I already washed them And what am I gonna do with just a tiny bit? So just put it in there. Always wash the dirt from these, right? Because you don't know if the dirt is organic, even though they say it's organic. Okay? Look at how nice and thick. This is flavoring really beautiful. And then the last, throw these beautiful, colorful peppers. So put them in rounds if you like. These are not hot. These are just regular peppers. And then before you serve it, make sure that you adjust the heat and the salt. Okay, you throw those peppers in there to give it a beautiful color. Remember, more color, more antioxidants. And keeping it there. Use your tomato paste. And let's grab a little spoon. It'll help you thicken it, and it'll give it a really nice rosy red color. Really nice and pink. Okay. And by the way, to make the habanero paste, what you need is, we're gonna blend this thing with a little bit of the vinegar, the apple cider vinegar, and you're good to go. So let me flip these. And we need a handle. See, that's when I have too much stuff. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. And smells amazing. So that way when you get a morsel in there, it'll be really beautiful and brown. See this? This is what you're looking for. Really gorgeous. So you don't need to put eggs. You just basically put the blend with your lemongrass, and then you mix it all. You put all those herbs that I put, and give it one little flip. I mean, you could even eat this like that too, with some flavor of peanut butter or something. I never eat peanut butter, but okay. So now we're just gonna brown them on the other side. So let me show you the paste. So for the habanero paste, super simple. See, it doesn't have to be super brown. So those are the habanero chilies, the garlic, and the olive oil. Just put it in your blender with a little bit of salt. I already put the salt, remember? I said balsamic vinegar, but it's not balsamic vinegar. It's apple cider vinegar. So we're going to put approximately like a quarter cup. And we cover it. Where's my cover? Somebody's seen this right here. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay, so you have the habanero with the oil and the apple cider vinegar and the chilies there, salt, and just give it a quick blend. And Look at that. It's like mayo. But it's really spicy and it's absolutely delicious. But don't let me tell you about it. You make sure that you make it at home. So that's the habanero paste. And back to my awesome tofu. Just throw the fried tofu in there. Look at how beautiful. Look. Gorgeous and very flavorful. Just toss it in there. Look at that beautiful red curry. That's fantastic. You can make a whole tofu steak with this. So this is pretty much cooked. I'm gonna add the last ones there. Delicious. And the flavor is incredible. Okay, I'm gonna use this for another recipe because I already have enough tofu here, so I'm gonna just grill it. And this one, I'm at the end of the recipe. So you just add some frozen peas. A little bit more mint. This time I just throw, like, crush them in like that. Mix everything. And let me show it to you. From scratch, no colorings. I'm gonna turn this off because I don't want to burn myself. And look at the color, how beautiful. And smells incredible. So from here on, I'm just gonna let it sit. I'm gonna wait till the valve click. I tune it to medium. When this lid is hot to touch or the lid starts clicking like really steady, I wait for the click to for the valve to click steady. Then I touch it 1, 2, 3 hot. If it's hot to the touch that I can't hold my fingers there, then I turn it to low and then I can go. And then for the brown rice, check it out. Look at how beautiful, fluffy, and gorgeous. So you can do that too as well. So the food is ready. I'm just going to let this sit for a little bit longer to cook for about 10 minutes and simmer. So once it's simmered, then later on I'm going to serve it with the brown rice and of course a little bit of my habanero paste. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to love, share, and have a watch party. So you can share first this video onto your timeline, and then once you share it, first you like it or love it and make a comment, then you share it to your timeline, and then what you do is you have a watch party with your friends and your families that want to see this recipe. Anyway, thank you very much. Once again, God bless you. God bless us all. Until then, your flexitarian friend, Jael. Have a happy, healthy, and wealthy day. Ciao. Stay happy.